Okay, I'm going to try a little bit of a different type of video. I'm going to try explaining one of these large multi-synth patches. This patch uses the 2600, the Modular, the Beast and the Pest, and the Pro one, and then the Boomstar and Syntrx are doing separate sounds, and I might play the TD from the Nord. It's going to be a little bit hard to stay on mic for this, so I might have to use the camera audio. It might be a little weird, so sorry about that. Typically, I wouldn't try to explain a big patch like this because it's too setup specific, but this one has a lot of interesting things going on, so there might be something to learn. This patch is based around the 2600 and the Make Noise O control. So the O control is getting a clock from one of the 2600 oscillators, which is mixing with its internal clock. So if I turn this up, and if I stop the internal clock, this is just the 2600 oscillator. So the reason there's different volume levels to these sounds is because of the dynamic gate output, which is from row 2. And this is getting a random voltage from the Beast random source. I wanted to use the 2600 random source to do this, but because I'm clocking the random with row 2, if I switch to this cable, the patch just stops, or mostly stops. So using this other random source lets me get some variety to the level going to the 2600. I have the pressure from the O control going a lot of places in this patch. It's going to both oscillators on the 2600 that are making sound here. They're being ring modulated, and oscillator 2 is modding the filter. That's what gives this little vocally sound. I'm inverting the pressure and sending it to one oscillator, and then sending the non-inverted to the other one, and then also sending the pressure to the filter. So it gives a fair bit of variety when you press a key. I'm also running the pressure through a slew limiter, synthesizers.com module. And I just have it on the down stage of the CV, so when I release the key, there'll be a bit of a lag as it decays. It's a little subtle. So because the Beast is providing the random, I'm just using that for its own independent sound. And it's getting the pressure as well. So if we mute the 2600. And it's just getting modulation from its own LFO. The Pest is getting its trigger from the O control as well. This one, step 2. So every time it goes here, the Pest will trigger. I'm also sending the keyboard trigger to the Pest, so if I just sweep the keys, we'll turn down the beast. Slow this clock. Turn this up a little more. So I plug the keyboard trigger to the reset, and that seems to make the pads respond a little bit better to this kind of sweeping motion. So the three we have so far. So the modular is being clocked off its sequencer, which is being clocked off one of these gate outputs. So we'll turn it up. So the sequencer is on random mode. We'll turn these other parts down. So most of the steps are the same value, but some of them go higher, and there's glide on the sequencer, and it's going through a quantizer. Maybe we'll put this up an octave. It's random source. The tap tempo LFO is being clocked off this as well. And I have these LFOs off this phase shifter going to the filter. And its rate is being modulated. So we'll turn this down. And then the Pro one. The Pro one is being clocked off the gate output of the second row through a clock divider, just on divide by 2. So it's not always going to make sound. It's a little more sparse. And it's getting a feed from this random waveform LFO as well. So we can just turn up everything we have so far. Pressure is going to everything except the Pro one. The Boomstar is doing its crazy thing. And I explained this Syntrx patch in another video. So I might try to do a performance on this patch. Yeah, I might try to perform on this. Thanks for watching.